Hello, friends. I am José Inácio Werneck. I'm sitting here in Pontevedra, Spain, with my wife, Dawn Werneck, that will appear here a little bit more to the right. And in Britain, in the United Kingdom, in Durham, we have Carole Seheult. Is it Durham? Are you in Durham?
No, I'm in Northumberland.
Oh, no, Northumberland. Okay, so I'm sorry for that. You used to be in Durham sometime.
Yes.
Okay, now you are in Northumberland. And we are talking here about the El Camino de Santiago because Dawn and I have been doing the Camino de Santiago for almost a week now. Today,
yes,
a
actually,
week.
a week, 7 days.
Yeah, for exactly a week. And we are hoping to reach Santiago de Compostela this next Thursday. Now, today we are in Pontevedra in Galicia. It is a very nice town, which we happen to know well because we were here 4 years ago during the World Triathlon Championship. Actually, we do the duathlon part of the Triathlon Championship. And Carole, you did the El Camino de Santiago in different stages, right? Not in just one go.
No, that's right. I did the Camino Francesa from Le Puy in France to Compostela in 2000, 2001, 2002.
Well, but that's already the El Camino Santiago itself.
Say.
But
yes.
If you started in France and you arrived in Santiago de Compostela, that is a full Camino de Santiago, Carole. You did it in one go?
No. We did it in 3 2-week periods.
Okay.
Yes.
And after
My friend was a teacher, and we could only do it in August.
I see. And so it must have been very hot in August.
It was very hot. There, you can see my credential, my passport.
Oh, yes, we have.
Yes, you have a passport as well. Yes.
Yes, do. Oh, let me get it. Yeah.
Okay, so Dawn is going to get our passport or credential, as they call it, just to prove that we are honest Camino de Santiago peregrines. And the whole idea, but after that, you did the French route, and that was what you did, right? Because we are doing...
We did the French route first, and then I looking in my passport now. In 2004, we started and we did the Camino Portuguesa.
So you did the Portuguese, you did what we are now. So you are a veteran El Camino de Santiago pilgrim. Yeah. Congratulations.
I'm looking for my stamp from Pontevedra.
This is ours, yeah.
Carole, this is our passport. I have been stamping it every day.
Good.
Twice a day.
Yeah.
And
tomorrow.
And tomorrow we go. Where do we go tomorrow, Dawn?
Tomorrow we go to
Caldas de Reis. It's still in Galicia. And I always explain to my viewers in Brazil that Galicia is a very interesting part of the world because Galicia is in Spain, but Galicia was part of Portugal for some time. And in Galicia, they speak the Galego. They don't really speak Spanish. Right. So Galego, they also speak Spanish, but they really make a point in explaining to people that the official language of the area is Galician, and it's very similar to Portuguese. So
I never had any problem in being understood in Galicia because I always I don't speak very good Spanish because I learned to speak Portuguese first. So I would always speak in Portuguese and everybody understood me, even though I'm English.
I have to explain that Carole speaks Portuguese because she lived in Rio de Janeiro for some time. That's how you learn to speak Portuguese. And you were back in Rio de Janeiro last year, right?
Yeah.
Visiting. And the whole idea, something very interesting, Carole, because the whole idea of the Camino de Santiago was as a spiritual pilgrimage. But nowadays, I think that 95% of the people who do it don't really do it for any religious reason. They do it for fun. And it is a wonderful experience, a great camaraderie. You meet people from all over the world. We have met people from the Philippines, people from what is Czechoslovakia, the Republic, the Czech Republic. Oh, we met
Australia.
Yeah, no, all over the world. And the highest point so far for me in scoring difficult areas or difficult countries was today we bumped into a guy from Andorra.
Oh, right.
Andorra, and he was explaining to us that Andorra is the only country in the world where the official language is Catalan. So the language that they speak in Barcelona, Spain, is also spoken in Andorra, but it is actually the official language of the country, which is not, of course, the official language of Spain. And apart from this guy from Andorra, we have bumped into people from the Czech Republic, lots of Australians, lots of Canadians, lots of Americans, lots of English people, Germans. The Germans are an incredible amount of Germans.
Yes. The Dutch also, Dutch people.
Yes,
Dutch, one person from Luxembourg, from two Argentinian women, so far.
Some Brazilians.
First we met a Brazilian couple, then we met two Brazilian ladies, then we met a whole group from Brazil, led by a Brazilian who was Manuel, who was actually born, a very interesting story, Carole. He was born, I have to control the time here, but I think don't remove my watch.
No, it's fine.
Okay. This guy was born in Portugal, immigrated to Brazil, and then after he retired, he decided to do the El Camino de Santiago, and he said to his parents, both Portuguese, father and mother, living in Brazil, in Miguel Pereira, north of Rio de Janeiro, and he said, let's go and do the Camino de Santiago. You know what happened? His parents died in a car crash, so never could go the Camino de Santiago, and he became a Camino de Santiago guide. So he, maybe as a kind of, maybe to honor his parents, I don't know, he is now a Camino de Santiago guide. And it is one of the many interesting stories you learn in El Camino de Santiago. And what is the highest point, I think, is the incredible camaraderie that you find along the way.
Definitely, yes. Wonderful people. And I still keep in contact with one or two that we've met along the way in Facebook.
Yes.
From all those years ago.
and I think it is an incredible example of how humans can be nice to each other in a world today that is so divided by different ideologies in countries like the United States and England and Brazil, where people hate each other because of their politics. And yet you bump into these people here, you don't know whether they are right or left, you don't know what the political convictions are, but they are all very friendly the whole time. I don't to say something because people always say that I talk too much.
Yes, I met some interesting people. I met a young woman who was who is a poet, and so I'm going to keep in contact with her. And also today, we found a group from Northern Ireland who are actually raising money, have raised quite a lot of money for suicide awareness. I think their organization is called PIPS. I'm going to check it out, but
that's great.
Yeah, so it's, and then there's another group from New York who are being led by a Franciscan friar.
This is a very interesting
yes,
because, you know, the poor man has been walking all this way. The weather is okay, but not if you are wearing the very heavy robes he's been wearing. So
No.
I feel sorry for him because he's dressed from head to toe in this very heavy Franciscan, friar robes. It must
Do
be.
you have a guidebook, José?
Yes.
Dawn? Do you have a guidebook? Do you have this book?
No, what we have is this that we got from the company who.
Right.
Yes.
Because you mentioned John Brierley, and he is the one that wrote this book, which.
Oh no, John Brealey. No, that's not the same John Brealey. Oh, that's interesting.
John Brealey is a friend of ours from England who also lived in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, and he actually did the Camino de Santiago once.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not this man?
So is it John Brealey or John Brierley? What is the name? I cannot see here. Can you see Pilgrim? For I don't see the name. The Pilgrim's Guide, Camino Português. I cannot see.
Oh, really? Yes,
John Brealey.
What a coincidence!
Can you show?
Yes, the bottom, John Brealey. Look.
Oh my God.
John Brealey. Maybe it is the same John Brealey. We must find out. We are actually going to meet him. We're going to see him in England soon.
We're actually going to stay with him.
Yeah, we're actually going to stay one night there in his house in
Well, I wonder if it is the same man.
Yeah, I hope it is.
It's a gorgeous book, and it's the book we used as our guidebook.
Very, very interesting story.
Yeah. Well, we have been traveling very light, so I haven't really been.
Yeah. But it's a quite small book, and it tucks into your rucksack, and it's got maps and a guide to where to go and where to stay, everything.
And
well, our accommodation was pre-booked by this company, so we didn't.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's something that we should say to Brazilians who are thinking about doing the El Camino de Santiago. You can book with companies that actually transport your luggage from one hotel to the other, so you don't have any. So we have our luggage. We have luggage in wheelies, these luggage on wheels. And they are very light, of course, and they are transported every day from one hotel to the other, and we travel with our backpacks. What you need, and I always say that, and I will repeat again, you need to be very well physically prepared, because it's not easy. And actually, I'd like to ask you, when you did the Camino Português, did you do with the coastal route or the interior route?
Central route.
I think we did the interior route, not the right on the coast. We did the interior route.
You did the interior.
Yes, but I have
The
a comment.
Yeah, four routes in parallel, but I think we did the interior route.
But where did you start doing the interior route?
We started at Ponte de Lima.
So that is good.
Yes.
Actually, Ponte de Lima is a wonderful place.
Yeah, we went by bus from Porto to Ponte de Lima.
Yeah, very interesting town. Because I would say, if you are going to start from Porto, don't do what they call the central route or interior route, because
very industrial.
Very industrial, and you take a long time from your hotel to the start of the trail. And it's not very nice. But if you do the coastal route, then it is nice. So if you're going to start from Porto, as we say in Brazil, if you're going to start from Porto, you should do the coastal route.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah. And I think September is a lovely time to do it.
September
is a lovely time.
Yes, end of September, beginning of October, because it is just the right weather, I think. I can imagine very hot in summer, and in winter probably very rainy, and then you get wet. It's very pleasant.
The winds and the storms as well,
And we have to find out when we arrive in Compostela whether the bones of James the Great really are there, because that is the whole story. That is the legend, that James came to this part of the
Well,
world,
you
preached
will
the gospel.
find out.
Yeah, then he went back to Judea, where he was executed, and his followers brought his bones back to this place of the in the world, and his bones are buried in Compostela.
They brought it in a stone boat.
It's stone bone.
Yes, a boat made of stone.
Impossible.
How it didn't it sink? Then it was a
It
miracle.
was the same.
That is
It's a miracle.
Anyway, so the idea is that his bones are buried in Santiago de Compostela. I guess the place was known as Compostela and became known as Santiago de Compostela because of him. And for centuries, people have been doing this peregrination, the pilgrims, but more and more now it is really has become a world phenomenon, you know. How you can meet so many people, and the nearer you get to Compostela, the more people, because they are coming from different routes, different ways. They started in different places, or they started in France, for instance. And so I guess when we get to Compostela, there will be an incredible crowd there.
There will, but the other reason, Jose, is that if you want to get your Compostela, your part from the main office, you have to do at least 100 kilometers on foot.
So we are doing 200.
Lots and lots of people start 100 kilometers away and then walk to Compostela. So they only do the last 100 kilometers.
Yeah, but we are doing 200 kilometers.
Yeah,
I've done a lot. To have the full experience. Okay. Carole, it was a pleasure talking with you, getting all this information. And by the way, I have something for you. I have a book that I will mail to you. Yes, my book. Remember? Yeah, so I'm going to mail it to you when we arrive in England.
Right. When are you coming to England?
I think it's the 4th of October.
On the 4th of October, I will be in France.
In France? But yes. I will mail the book to your address anyway.
I will be in France, in Nantes, with Alan's American cousins, and we're going to look at the history of the Seheult family in Nantes and their architect.
Oh, okay, very interesting.
I'm back on the 6th. The 6th of October, I come back to England.
Okay, we'll be in touch with you anyway, Carole.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm not sure that I have your new address, so can you
send it to us by email?
Yeah.
Okay. Carole, thank you very much.
So were you coming to the south of England?
Yes.
Only?
Yes, we're flying to Bristol, where we're going to visit John, who lives a couple of hours from Bristol on the west coast. Then we're going to Essex for a couple of days. Then we're going to Hampshire near Farnborough. We're kind of all over the place. So
okay, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking with you. Okay.
Pleasure to see you, and I'm so pleased you're enjoying yourselves.
Thank you, Carole. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.